All right, in today's session, we are not really touching Google Cloud. We will have a basic introduction about what is cloud, what is the relevance of cloud, and what is different types of cloud, some deployment models, service models and all. And also we will have a small introduction about Google Cloud as well. So, and how to create the account, all these things we are going to discuss. So by next session, which is on Friday morning, by next session, you can create your Google Cloud account and come back. All right. So, so today this session is totally dedicated for someone who have no idea about what is cloud computing. So the session will be like that. Those who already know, you can just watch it. And this is designed for someone who have no idea about cloud computing. So first 20 minutes maybe. After that, we will discuss little more about cloud, what different types of cloud. All right, cloud computing. So what are we going to discuss is, before we understand cloud computing, what was the traditional computing looks like? Example, before cloud computing, what exactly how the computing works, or when you host an application, or when you host a website, you have an organization, you have a company, when you are hosting your private application or website or whatever, how it works. So to understand that, we will understand what is a data center, different computing devices in a data center, how to build and maintain the data center, and we will discuss cloud computing. So different cloud providers, comparison of cloud with the on-premises data center and use cases. This is the current, this module, this is the agenda. So did anyone ping the chat? You see? All right. I hope my screen is getting shared already.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So just imagine you're starting a new organization. So 10 years back, at least 10, 12 years back, where cloud is not so popular. At that point of time, you're starting a new company or an organization. What all you required? You may require an office space. You need to hire the employees, and that employees will be, it's your business is something IT related. Just imagine your business is something e-commerce website development or whatever, something IT related. So what your employees will do, your employees will be developing your application. Where exactly all these will be hosted? All this application or website will be hosted. You can answer. Where exactly you'll be keeping all this application or whatever the code or whatever. Yeah, Charan.
Okay. So, in fact, you're talking about the 10-year back. So there is like, we do not have a much more concept like as a cloud services and all. So people usually have their own data centers or they have the shared data centers. So you can have your own servers over there. On top of that, you can install your virtual machines and you can start deploying your application.
That's
So
right. Yeah,
yeah,
it will be
that's
keeping
one of
in.
the correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So all your applications will be hosted in a data center, or we can say in servers. In general, we can say servers or a data center. This is how a data center looks like. Did anyone got a chance to visit a data center in this list? You can raise the hand or you can say that. Also, those who visited, maybe Charan,
I
Arif.
I number of times, yes.
Okay,
Was.
Arif, you.
I've done it. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay. So then Mohan, you might have, right?
Yeah, yes, Harish. I had around 2 to 3 years. I have been worked on data centers actually.
Okay, all right.
So yeah.
Shankar, you may not. Am I right?
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
I think others may not. Okay. So, so this is how a data center looks like. Not this much good looking or fancy look. Okay. In general, it will be very noisy, and a lot of servers will be running inside the data center. These are the racks, like you can see, it's like some bureau kind of thing. These are the racks. And this is how a server looks like inside a data center. This is how a server looks like. We all know what is a server. It's something, a high power computer, like more than our laptop or desktop. It's a high power computer, and you will be keeping multiple servers in a rack, something like this. So server is the most important component in a data center. Servers. There are three important components I can say in data center. The first one is servers, of course. Computing servers are for computing, and that is the most important thing in a data center. And apart from servers, there are storage boxes. You can see all these are storage boxes. When I say storage, in a organization, we won't keep the data inside a server or inside a local computer or in a laptop or something. There will be centralized storage. This is how it looks like. On left side top, you can see storage. Each red color one is a disk. Each one is a disk, maybe some 250 GB or 500 GB disk. So you can see the whole storage box, how much storage space it can provide. So when we keep all your data in a centralized place, it will be easy for you to back up, or high availability, redundancy, all these different features you will get instead of keeping inside a server or laptop. That's why we have storage. It will be dedicated storage boxes will be there in data center. The third one is networking to interconnect all your data center storage servers or to the users. When the user access your application or server, networking is required, not only in data center, your entire organization also, so that users can connect to your servers application, and maybe the end users, if you're creating an e-commerce website like a Flipkart or Amazon.com. If you're creating such website, the end user, the third party users also can access your website by networking. You need to interconnect all these things for communication. That is one of the very key component in data center. To do that, there are many cables or networking devices, switches, routers, multiple things are required. So networking in general, networking is also one of the important component in a data center. So what all? Servers, storage, and networking. All right. So just imagine you created, so our scenario is we are before cloud, we are creating a data center, we are building a data center, right? That's the scenario. You're starting a business and building a data center. So to achieve this till here, like to build a data center, what all things are required? All these, you need to purchase the servers, storage, networking devices. You need to interconnect. You need to hire a place like some rented or leased place to build the data center, and to interconnect, unbox all together is going to take very good amount of time, maybe some 6 months or 1 year to only build the data center. You need to unbox the servers, install the operating system, install the databases, applications, again, the configuration, all the configuration, everything you have to do all together only to build your computing environment. Before hire your employees, maybe before hire your actual developers, you need that much time, and also effort is required. Not only time and effort, cost is also involved here. One server cost you lakhs. So if you are purchasing many servers, storage boxes all together, it's going to cost you a lot. So cost is involved, time, effort also involved to build the data center before start your business. That's important. Before starting your business itself, you need to invest a lot of money and time. This is the traditional computing. Okay, before cloud computing, this is how you need to do if you want to start a IT related business or a company. Is that clear, all of you? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So next, just imagine everything is ready. Your your data center is ready. It is functioning. Your employees are working there. And next, for running a data center, different cost is involved, like electricity. If you ever visit a data center, it will be the temperature of the data center will be pretty low. That is for functioning, like the smooth functioning of all your computing devices. So for that, you need a separate investment to keep your temperature low. If you ever visit a data center, you will know that. And replacement of parts. you can see this replacement, if there is any component fail, like a power supply or disk or whatever it fail, you need to replace it. And licensing, very important, licensing for when it comes to operating system or softwares, you need to purchase the license every year. You may need to renew the license. So these are also cost which are running cost, not the initial cost. These are the running cost. Initial cost itself, it's a very huge amount, and this is the running cost of a data center. And apart from that, you need people to manage the data center, hardware administrators, then maybe OS, database, network, storage admin, different people, different skilled people to manage the data center. So all these are the total administration or building cost of a data center. So what all, if you recap, you need to purchase a service, time to interconnect all these things, then running cost, and also you need more people to manage the data center. So what if you have an option where all these computing requirements are provided by a third party? What if you have an option? So all these computing requirements are provided by third party, which means you don't need to purchase a service, build the service, install the operating system, or run the data center. You don't have to do anything. Everything will be done by some other company, totally different company, a cloud provider, some other company. They will be doing it. You just need to focus on developing your application, whichever is required, whichever you are focusing. You can just start. If you want to start a company, you don't need to worry about purchasing all these purchasing the servers or building the data center. You can directly start working on your code to uh, build your application. So how that will be, it is more easy, right? You can save your time, the cost it is involved, everything. So this is what cloud computing is. So cloud computing, this is what cloud computing is. Cloud computing provides servers, storage, database, private network, and many other services online. Very important, online, without owning single piece of hardware or building a data center. So some other company, as I mentioned, some other provider, cloud provider will set up everything for you. You will be accessing online those services. You will be accessing online without purchasing or owning anything. Cool, right? So what all the different areas or different applications cloud provides? You can see, or we discussed the compute, storage, and networking, the different infrastructure applications, infrastructure services, compute, storage, and networking. Apart from that, not only unlike traditional data center, cloud provide many other advanced services. There are some platform services like databases or different Java or Python kind of runtime applications. Then direct application, without directly you can use some application like without managing anything in the backend, you can use the application. So here some platform services, infra services, and different applications also you will get in cloud. This is a general representation. Any questions so far about data center or traditional management or anything? Those who did not understand, those who are not into the traditional technologies. All right. So who provide these cloud computing platforms? Who provide this? So we all know, we were already discussing AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud, and we are going to learn Google Cloud. These are the three popular providers in the cloud computing. These are the leaders in public cloud market. Apart from this, do you know any other providers? Any of you?
IBM, Oracle, Dell, and a few more small, yeah.
PCF.
Yeah, that's right. Salesforce, DigitalOcean, IBM.
So Digital Oceans, I don't think they have their own data center. They do not have a wide
Yeah,
range of. They are,
DigitalOcean is, yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
they are coming up. I think prior to that, they are hosting services inside the AWS or some other shared services. It's not, they do not own earlier. I'm not sure what they are now owning, but initially not.
All right, anyway, they are coming up. So these are some of the other popular cloud providers, but first three are the leaders in market. You will be already knowing this. AWS is the one who carry more market share, and Azure and Google Cloud as well. So some of the benefits of cloud, first is initial cost saving. You can assume, right, how much cost you can save initially. You don't need to purchase all this data center or building. I mean, you don't need to build the data center. You don't need to purchase all these servers, data storage, etc. Flexibility to choose different platforms and services. So someone was saying moving to hybrid platform, right? So we have flexibility to choose different cloud providers in the same organization. Like some services, some application you can host in AWS, or some other application you can host in Google Cloud, whichever is very well optimized. Based on that, you can host different application in different cloud platform in the same organization. That is possible. You have that flexibility when it comes to cloud, and anytime you can switch. Maybe if something is not really working in this service, if you have the flexibility to choose from one provider to another provider anytime. So cloud providers also should be providing the proper service. Otherwise the customers can anytime they can switch from one provider to another. Automatic updates, so easy capacity management with unlimited storage. So in traditional computing, suddenly your storage is getting exhausted, maybe a very few amount of storage is left. You need to add additional storage. Just imagine maybe some 25 TB or what are the storage you need to add additionally. So for that, very big effort is required in traditional computing. You may need to purchase the storage box, get it shipped, and unbox it, attach it, expand your storage. So all this going to take a lot of time. But here it is ready to use within few seconds. Unlimited storage is available anytime you want. So that effort, time, and everything you can save it in cloud. Globally distributed design. This we will learn when we start the actual cloud, how the global distributed design works. Then pay as per use model, that we will discuss right now. Yeah, Charan. Anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
Pay as per use model, high availability and redundancy. This is also as part of services. When we start the actual service, we will learn how high availability, redundancy, and all we can achieve in cloud. So those who don't know any technical terms or some words and all, you can ask, okay, what exactly it is, because there will be some common words which is used in the cloud world or in the technical world. So I assume I'll just in a flow, I'll say that word. Some words, if you don't know what exactly it is, you can specifically ask. Basically terms, because we all are from different backgrounds, right? So in some kind of field, that word will be very commonly used, and some other background, they won't be knowing that particular word. So anytime, mostly when we start discussing about our services, so anytime if you don't know any specific terminology, you can ask that. Okay, feel free to ask, because we all are from different backgrounds. So to understand, we will go through a scenario. Benefits of cloud. So just imagine you are purchasing a car. Just imagine you are purchasing a car. What are the costs involved? You have initial cost. You will pay the road tax and insurance and fuel cost. Also the service cost, the routine service you will be doing it. So this is when you purchase a car. All right. Instead of purchasing a car, what if you are availing for a self-driving car? Like a Zoom car or whatever, a self-driving car, if you are availing, how it will be? You don't need to pay initial cost, or you don't have to pay the road tax and insurance. You don't need to fill the fuel, and also you don't need to worry about service as well. So what cost is involved here? Instead of buying a car, you are proceeding with a self-driving car. Rent, right? So rent. So you need to pay for the usage, correct? When you use this car for 5 hours or 24 hours or 2 days or whatever, you need to pay maybe based on the days, number of days or number of kilometers you used or number of hours you used, correct? It's based on your usage you need to pay. This is the payment model of cloud. Pay as you use or pay as you go or whatever you can say, pay as per use model. This is called pay as per. Yeah, Mohan,
More than that.
you can mute yourself, Mohan. Okay, so this payment model is called pay as per use model, which means in cloud also you will be using, for example, if you use 10 servers for 1 month, you just need to pay for that 10 servers. After 1 month, you may add more servers, maybe 10 instead of 10, 12 servers you're using the next month, then you will be paying only for that. The same way for different services. So if you use some 25 terabytes of storage in this month and next month it is increased, so you will be paying for that. So why the payment model is important? Because you're not using it, you are not purchasing any server or building the data center, someone else is doing for you, so you need to pay for them, right, for the services. So how this is the payment model works, it is totally as per your usage. Anyway, when we discuss the services, and after every service we will discuss how the payment works for that specific service. At that moment you will know, but keep this word in your mind, pay as per use model. So here I mentioned pay as per use model. All right, so this one, pay as per use model. All right, so this is just like paying the electricity bill at your home. That's as per your use, right? If you use this many units of electricity, you need to pay for that. Maybe next month your usage may increase or decrease. So as per your usage only, you need to pay, just like paying your electricity bills. So major use cases of cloud, I'm just listing some use cases. If you don't know any of this use case or any of this terminology, you can just ask. All right, these are some of the common industries cloud use, but usage of cloud is something like unlimited. Like we everybody use cloud, like in our mobile itself we use cloud storage at least. So this is something, some general industries. If you don't know any of this, you can ask.
So what is actually this, the to host the mobile app? Mobile app usually in the PDA devices, right? So what is this the meaning here?
There will be mobile apps which is hosted in clouds also, many mobile applications hosted in cloud as well.
What is the terminology of here of the mobile? Is mobile is a PDA device, right?
Can you be more specific?
So I'm just saying that if I'm using, take an example, Google phone or any Apple phone, right? So I'm installing that app may have the API hosted inside the data center, any of the service provider, but how the mobile app host into the cloud service?
I mean, yeah, that's exactly I mentioned. Like it will be the APIs, it will be in the backend, it will be connecting to any of the cloud. Okay,
Got it.
that's
So
what
the
I mentioned.
API.
Yeah, right.
So no matter what, API can
Maybe
be
a data
connected.
center, maybe a database will be hosted in cloud, or the front end will be in some other platform, and it will be connecting to the database which is hosted in cloud, something like that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. All right. So do you use cloud? Any of you? I think many use cloud, right? Right. So even if you're not learning cloud, you will be part of cloud some or the other way. You will be using the cloud. All right. So why do we need to learn Google Cloud next? Okay, so this is some introduction about general cloud. Okay, so far we were discussing what is cloud computing, what is the relevance of cloud computing, how the cloud is making our life easy, maybe like without building, without focusing on infrastructure, you can directly focus on creating your application. So why do we need to learn Google Cloud? So the first reason we need to learn Google Cloud is we are running in the same infrastructure of Google. We are getting for our application, our organization's application, you are getting the same infrastructure of Google, which means where the technology what Google use. Or Google, when I say Google, all the Google products, Gmail, YouTube, Google.com, Maps, all these, like it's pretty giant applications, right? When the number of requests what they deal with, and the number of storage or user request what they deal with, it is very, very huge. So you are getting the same backend infrastructure and technology for yourself. That is the primary reason you can host your application in Google Cloud. Then there are some specific services which is very well, it works very optimized way in Google Cloud, specifically the Kubernetes VMware engine. Kubernetes, you will be, how many of you know about Kubernetes? Okay, those who are already experienced, they'll be knowing. How about Devika, Jyoti, Shankar? Did you hear about Kubernetes? Others might have already heard.
No.
Okay, so Kubernetes is one of the key technology provided by Google, and not only Google, it's in the industry itself. Like you will be finding Kubernetes is an open source. So since the primary developer of Kubernetes, it's a separate technology itself. We are learning Kubernetes as part of this training. The last topic will be Kubernetes. So it's a Google product basically, but later it became open source. So this itself, I know many organizations only to use Kubernetes, they are adopting Google Cloud as a cloud platform, because it's something very big technology to host your application. So there are some something like this, something like Kubernetes or VMware engine. There are some unique features in Kubernetes and GCP. We will learn that eventually. I'm not getting into details. Live migration, all these things we will be learning as part of the course. When the topic comes, we'll be learning. TPU, maybe just like CPU, GPU. You might have heard about TPU, maybe. It's not that popular so far. Tensor processing unit, just like CPU or graphical processing unit, GPU, there is another hardware device, tensor processing unit. So these are some of the areas where customers are finding it attractive and hosting their application in Google Cloud. And price as well. Price is something, it's not fixed, like anytime it can change also, but currently compared to the current standards, so the price is pretty cheap than less expensive than other cloud platforms. And when it comes to growth, okay, in 2017, Google was in initial position. 2017, Google was in visionary position. When see the growth quadrant, you can see it's in visionary position, and leaders were AWS and Microsoft. And 2018, within 1 year, it's reached from visionary to leader position. You can see from here to here. Until now, these three are the market leaders of cloud, public cloud: AWS, Microsoft, and Google. This is not the accurate data, but maybe a little long back it was like this. AWS hold 62% of market share, but this might have changed. It will be keep on changing, and there will be huge difference also right now. 12% is by Google Cloud and 20% is by Azure. So AWS is the like very early player in market. They started the cloud in 2006 itself, and there will be some reason you are here, right? Why are you looking to learn Google Cloud? Because Google Cloud, the Oracle Cloud, Google and Oracle, these two clouds are the one who are fastest growing in the industry. So we need many companies are opting, and those who know Google Cloud, the number of candidates or number of um, engineers who know Google Cloud, those are relatively less compared to Azure and AWS. That will be another your strong point after learning this course, because already the number of people are less, and it is fastest growing as well. Google Cloud is one of the fastest. Google and Oracle Cloud, these are the fastest growing cloud in the industry as per last year data, 2021 data. So that will be another strong point when it comes to when you look for the job. All right, some of the customers. So this is the general introduction about cloud computing and also about Google Cloud. All right, we will move to the next module. Some more things we need to discuss about cloud computing. Maybe another 10 minutes after that, we will start with the Google Cloud.
Anish, for the first session, do you want to go ahead and explain what all topics you would be covering as part of this session? What it would
Yeah,
take from your
I'll do that.
perspective?
Okay, I think I course content I have shared with maybe you might have received the course content
Correct. I
in
have
detail.
already received those
Okay,
15 chapters, 30.
right. There will be some small changes like here and there. Okay, apart from that, that is some 95, 98% that will be same the course content, but still I'll explain some more. So I'll open
Correct.
that
On a
and
broad,
explain it.
yeah, on
Okay,
a broader level, we wanted to understand on a first session, right? What is that it would take for us
all
to be
right.
part of this session? How much
Hmm.
time on a daily basis, and how do you foresee, like, within how much time would we be able to complete the whole sessions?
All right.
And if
As
we
I
have to go for
mentioned, that
certification and all, right? Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, okay. So I'll answer this right away because it's total 32 hours, as I mentioned at the beginning. 32 to 35 hours we'll be connecting 3 days in a week because considering like that how I designed this timing because considering my training experience because after one topic everybody needs some time to learn and do the lab some buffer time to learn it. Okay, so if you are in same page uh, from the beginning, if you are in same page, it will be very easy for you to prepare for the certification right after the training. You can brush up all the topics once, and maybe within 2 to 3 weeks you can go for the certification if you are very much into certification. Like if you're, the requirement of certification is very important, very quickly you need if you need to go for certification, you can just prepare after the training. You just need some 2 weeks to prepare, 2 to 3 weeks to prepare the certificate. That is only if you're already up to date by end of the training. See, we are discussing something today, right? So all of you, like those who are already these will be the deployment models. See, this you will be already knowing because those who don't know, you can learn little more about it. Apart from, you're getting some words from here, right? This session like private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud. I'm explaining what exactly it is, but you can watch more videos. Maybe those who are within less than 10-year experience, they can focus more. Those who are already working here, it will be pretty easy. They will be already dealing with all these things. Those who are hearing all these terminologies for the first time, they can spend some time today and tomorrow to learn this particular topics little more, so you will get a better idea. So like just like that, you can always be at same page. And when we start the actual topics, you can do the lab. Maybe the lab may not be sufficient for you. If you want to do more tasks, you can do that as well. See, we have a lot of content around us, right? Maybe there are courses, Udemy courses or some other platform courses. You can do the further learning in the same topics, and you can read the Google documentation as well. So that's how you need to be in the same page by end of the training. All right, and some topics are dependent as well. If you learn this topic only, the next topic you will understand. So if you just hear and if you don't really work on that particular topic in the buffer days, you may struggle in the next session. You may not be able to link it. So that way, if you're already in same page by end of the training, I know it will be difficult, all are working, but still you don't need much time for this because even when you're working parallel, you can play some videos or something. You don't need to sit and read the things. You can just play some videos, and that way you can learn it. So after learning, just 2 weeks, just you can focus only on certification oriented preparation, which means solving the questions. I'll be giving a lot of questions to you and also the guidance how to learn for the exam. So after focusing that, after completely after solving maybe some 200, 300 questions, you will only feel confident that you're ready for the certification exam. All right. The exam, anyway, exam details and all, I'll come later. So this is how generally training works. So we will be connecting. I need at least a 2 hour, 1.5 hour to 2 hour for a topic. So maybe this is we will connect 7:30. It will be good if we switch to the 7 o'clock because 7 to 9 that will be a good timing. Maybe after some time, maybe after a couple of weeks or something. So when that topic comes, so that's how training works. At least more than 2 hours, and there won't be any topics. Okay, because 2 hours is maximum time we can listen to a. We can learn something. Any other questions regarding
How
this?
much would it be theoretical and how much would it be practical? Because you know, when we normally start with any instructor, the next day when we are trying, we normally get stuck. So we just want to make sure that we get to know the practical sessions as well,
It's
more than the theoretical.
totally, yeah, it totally depends on the topic. Some topics, the concept is more important, and the things what we do is very pretty straight, and there is no complex things involved. And that also in the course content I have listed there. But there are some topics like we will be parallelly doing sessions like when we clear every slide, we will be switching back to the console and we'll be doing the things. Okay, there is no, I didn't divide how the percentage wise, because it's totally depends on the topic. All right, because the cloud is something we are dealing with many things, right? So there is no such dividends as so far.
Sure.
All right. So um, and when it comes to practical, so I always think that if you are really good with concepts, like if you know the basics properly, you in cloud, like what you can do is there is no limit. Like we will be doing one lab that will be mostly that will be straight labs, like there won't be any troubleshooting or tricky things involved in it. So if you are interested, I'll be giving further task. Like I won't be giving that further task to everyone, because that doesn't make sense. If you're really interested, I'll be asking, just I won't be giving steps or whatever. I'll be giving some additional tasks. Do this task. So that is on you. You can just do the research and how to do it. If you're stuck somewhere, you're free to ask in the next session. That way we can proceed. There will be a straight lab which is doable with the steps or everything, the lab document and everything I'll be providing, or we'll be doing parallel in the session, like depends on the lab. And if you need little more complex task, you're free to ask. Okay, those who are already in the same page, I'll be giving, not for everyone. It is depends on their capabilities as well. Okay, total experience or whatever it is. So that's how the lab part works, because percentage, that's why I said, right, it's not divided properly. It depends on there are well defined things which is in the course content that we'll be doing anyway. If you need further things, I'll be providing that as well. All right. um, that's about lab. You can, if you know the concepts, you have multiple option to do further labs, like beyond the training scopes. All right, I always want all of you to go beyond the training content and scope. That's why I said you just pick the topics, learn the basics, and learn more uh, based on whatever based on the next sources. All right, shall we continue?
Yes.
Okay.
Arif, let him walk through. So if you have a question, we can discuss later. Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
right. So two things today, but two more things: cloud deployment models and service models we are going to discuss. This also you will hear a lot in the general industries: private, public, and hybrid. Already someone mentioned, right? Private cloud or hybrid cloud, or someone mentioned. So what is this? Let's understand this. When it comes to deployment model, there are four types of model: public, private, hybrid, and one more type is there. Does anyone know here what is the fourth type? Apart from what you see in the screen, there is one more type. Does anyone know? All right. Public cloud. Just give me a minute.
What was the other guy? You said the fourth one?
Wait, I'll come to that. Give me a minute. All right. Public cloud. So far in the last session, everything we discussed about public cloud. Whatever we discussed, it was about public cloud, which means some other company will set up everything for you, and you will be using it. Like you will be directly using online, whatever we discussed right in the first session. That is totally about public cloud, because one some company, AWS or Google Cloud, Google, AWS, Amazon, Google, Microsoft Azure, these are the companies. They'll set up everything for you, and you will be using, and some other companies also will be hosting their applications in the same data center or same platforms of Google Cloud or AWS or whatever. So many companies will be sharing one infrastructure that is called public cloud. This is the most common type of cloud. When we say AWS or Google Cloud, not only your organization, right? Someone else also will be hosted their applications there. So that's why it's called public cloud. And also it is accessing using public internet. You will be accessing online, right? Our internet. That's why it's called public cloud. Most common type of cloud model. Data center will be located at on-premises, cloud providers premises, which means maybe in Google data center or Google's different data centers, it will be located. You will be accessing over internet. Anyway, you are going to do it. Public cloud shared by multiple companies. Cloud provider is responsible for building and maintaining hardware and data center. We already discussed. We don't need to worry about the backend purchasing servers, maintaining it, all these things. You don't need to worry about it. Low cost and zero maintenance, hardware maintenance, pay as per use model. Everything we already discussed. Whatever you're seeing in the screen, we already discussed it, right? That is public cloud. So we are going to learn public cloud. Google Cloud is a public cloud. Okay, this is the most common. Public cloud is the most common type of cloud model. But anyway, even though you are not going to learn public cloud, so these are the public cloud providers. I mean, even though you're not going to learn private cloud, but you should have some understanding what exactly it is. So before that, these are the public cloud providers. Let's discuss private cloud. Okay, public cloud is shared by multiple companies. We already discussed a company A, B, C, or whatever, we already discussed. When it comes to private cloud, if one organization, they are developing their own cloud model or their own technology, their own cloud technology, or they're using purchasing some private cloud technology and using only in their premises. Okay, they are using only within their premises and not by any other company. Okay, one company purchasing some cloud technology and using within their premises, which means they should build the data center and they are using the private cloud within their premises. In that case, so none of the other companies can't host in private cloud, only that company. This is called private cloud. What will be the use case of this? Can anyone say? Like those who are hearing this for the first time, can someone explain, like before we reach to Arif, Charan or Mohan, Devika, Jyoti or Shankar, why do you think this is required, private cloud? What will be the use case?
More secure, like data privacy.
Yeah, that's right. Security. Okay, that will be the reason. That is the first reason many organization go for private cloud, because here public cloud, this will be some other company and many other companies data applications also will be there. So there are some companies, more than cost or more than management headache, or more than that, there are some organization, they'll be focusing on security part, because more than security, here also the data and application, everything is secure. But more than security, there will be compliances, like there will be policies in their organizations, so that they won't keep their data outside of their network or something like that. There will be security compliances. Security you can achieve here also, but there are compliances, policies, company policies will be there, which will prevent them to host in public cloud. So such organization, they can go for private cloud. Private cloud is the platform built and maintained by single organization. It will be located in their premises itself, within their network itself. It will be located. Hardware and software owned by the same organization. When it comes to private cloud, they have to build the data center. They have to own the hardware. Okay, it is owned by the same organization. Initial cost and running cost is involved. Unlike public cloud, all these costs are involved. Compared to public, it got more security. Security means it's more of these days, actually, there is no much concern about concerns are there, like we can, but you can implement a lot of security policies in public cloud. But the point is, many organization policies prevent them from hosting in public cloud. So anything anyone would like to add those who already using hybrid or private model in this case? Anyone would
In
like to add it?
the public cloud front, the infrastructure has been shared by the many companies, many tenant. But in term of the private cloud, the hardware is in a separate region. There is no interaction to the other companies. So it's then owned by the company, as you said, and they have their own control on that. But when you talk about the public cloud, even though like talk about the security is everywhere. And this, you can leak the security in the private cloud as well because of you are reaching to the internet, right?
Mm.
So there is a chances to leak the I mean to security here as well. And talking about the security to the public cloud, and also there are the HIPAA, there are so many compliances there. So all the service providers, they are maintaining the same level of the security as the private cloud maintained. So I don't see any difference now maintaining the security in both of models. But only the thing that you as a in a financial world, or you can say once you have some healthcare data and all. So those data is lot in the US and Euro market. People say these are more securitized, more important data. If the data is data theft happen. I mean, there is a more of misuse of that kind of data. So initially, people they have the unsecurity, you can say, or some concern about the security. Hey, what's gonna happen? But when your data center security compromised, blah blah something. Even though it has been so many times, even though you are in the private cloud, the difference is here you have a more control in your service, in your machine, in your premise, and yours. Everything is maintained by you, so you can do your way. But in the public front, you cannot do yourself. You cannot mandate everything. You have to go with the companies and to the service providers model. So that's the difference.
Right.
Even though like as a here in the private cloud, suppose like you told the Kubernetes, right? So for the private hosting model usually is a PVC, pivotal cloud foundry. So you have your own data center, you just build your VMware which is having this PVC, I mean the pivotal foundry. You build your enterprise in pipeline and start hosting the application. So your model is specific to your custom need. Whereas in the public cloud, you have to customize the way you want it to.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's basically NPI data, which is very critical for most of the organizations. If the NPI data or the personal data information is leaked, uh, chances of the company going bankrupt is so easy, right? I think that's because of the security and all. The financial industry is slowly going towards cloud, one by one. Some of the applications still I see those are not maintained in public cloud, in shop as well. They still maintain it in private cloud just because that has strong NPI information, in the sense of your SSN, your phone number, your email address, your age, your so critical information, right? So yeah.
Right. That's right. So these are some of the private cloud providers. You can, when I say providers, they develop the technologies for private cloud. Those who wanted to host things in private cloud, they can purchase this technology and use it. So here, I think who's Devika is from DXC, right? I think DXC got their own private cloud technologies. Right, Mohan? Um,
Yeah, not sure, Anish. I came out
all
sometime
right,
back.
all right.
Not sure.
So, okay, so these are some of the private cloud technologies, and HP or DXC, their technology is I mean, HP is the leader in private cloud. They have a private cloud technology in the basis of OpenStack. OpenStack is an open source. So anyways, these are the private cloud providers. Hybrid cloud, private plus it's a combination of, as name indicates, is the combination of public and private. 1 minute.
Did you looking the explanation here or somebody's question or what is it?
No. Wait. Sorry, I was on mute. Okay, hybrid cloud. It's a combination of private and public. So here we can assume the use case because we already know what is public and private, right? We can assume that use case. The use cases, we can keep the sensitive data in private cloud, and something which is not that much business critical, that they can use it in public cloud. So it's a combination of both. Both are used. So there are some organization, they'll keep their web layer, website, that particular layer in public cloud, and the database or your data is in private cloud. So that way they can achieve both hybrid model. So it's not only public and private, the public plus on-premises is called hybrid model as well. And okay, community cloud. Anyone heard about this community cloud? So these three are the common models. Everybody might have heard about it. Community cloud. Anyone?
No idea.
Okay. Yes,
Is
someone.
it like open source?
I just went through tutorials by the company. So in
Okay.
that I've mentioned like if 2 or 3 companies have the same purpose, or they're using the cloud for the same purpose and they club together and
Right, that's right. So community cloud is also a private cloud. Okay, it's also a private cloud. Okay, understand? Community cloud is also a private cloud, but it is owned and used by more than one organization. We already discussed what is private cloud. It's owned by a single organization. But if the private cloud, technology wise, there is no difference, like the building or whatever the technology what they used, there is no difference, but it is owned and used by more than one organization. That's called community cloud. All right, what will be the use case? In this case, what will be the use case?
So use case, I run a bank and Arif also run a bank and another people also run bank. So the business of the nature are the same. So they can go for this community kind of model.
Run a bank, you said.
I mean, if you have a common services, you are targeting a common nature of the business and the services you need the same.
But not
almost.
exactly, not exactly. There will be conflict of interest, right? In that case, if different people are running, unlike that, just imagine you have an organization and one more organization. Both are coming from the same parent organization. Okay, so both are like a parent organization is same, but it's a two different company. But their infrastructure, maybe they can share it. Or two companies are coming together and building same application. Like two companies are building some single product. In that case, they can go for community cloud. All right, say there are many companies, right? Maybe Maruti Suzuki, two companies are making same single product, correct? So something like that, when they are collaborating and working, in that case, they can go for community cloud. They both can invest the money. They both can maintain as well. So same infrastructure shared by several organizations. When multiple companies develop same application, and government, federal agencies and all, there will be different agencies, right? For government, they don't, if they're not keeping their application in public cloud, government data is more critical. So they'll be keeping in private cloud, but it's owned by companies, different companies of government agencies itself. Then scientific research, healthcare industries and all, they use community cloud where multiple companies come together and build the same platform. Healthcare industries, like they use the same tool or something, they share the data in between them, hospitals, etc. So that's about deployment models. We were discussing about deployment models. Okay, there. Hello, are you talking? Anyone is talking? Arif, are you talking?
I am sorry.
Okay, fine. Deployment models. So these are 4 deployment model: public, private, hybrid, and community cloud. This is generally for your information. Okay, it's so you can just generally aware about what it is. Next is service models. Service model. There are 3 basic service model. You can see IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. So infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. These are the basic service models. All right, let's see what it is. So after this, I'll just explain how to create the free trial. Any of you got free trial account already? GCP account?
Yes.
Yes, I did it today. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, fine. So service models, you can see in traditional IT, we discussed initially, right? The traditional way of hosting your application. So we need to build the data center, we need to build the network storage, you need to purchase the servers. So if there is any virtualization, anyway, you don't need to worry about this much. virtualization, I can say it's before cloud, this was the one of the top technology when it comes to the data center virtualization, VMware, Citrix, hypervisor, many virtualization technologies. So if there is any virtualization, you can apply that, and operating system, you can build the OS and create the application. So for example, if you want to, you need to build the data center first, right? In traditional IT, first till here, but till virtualization as a prerequisite, it should be ready. On top of that only, you're creating an operating system, maybe a Linux operating system. On top of that, you are installing, maybe if you are hosting a Python application, first you are building the data center, then you're creating an OS Linux operating system. You're installing some Python software runtime Python, and you're uploading the code, deploying the code, and your application is ready. This is how in traditional IT, if you're hosting an application, these all are the things you have to do. Everything will be managed by you. From the basic networkings to data center, everything will be managed by the you means your administrator, your organization itself, everything. When it comes to cloud, we already know we are not managing. So from now we are totally discussing about public cloud. Okay, forget about private and everything. That is totally basics for your information. From here, we are totally discussing about public cloud. So in public cloud, we already know we are not managing hardware, servers, virtualization. Till here, we are not managing. Totally, we are not managing. And if you want to host a Python application in public cloud, you can directly, without doing all these things, you can directly build an operating system. So here it will take at least some 45 minutes to create an operating system. Here it just take less than a minute to have a Linux operating system in public cloud. And you can install Python, you can download and install Python and build your application. All right, so the work is much more easy. So here, all these are delivered as a service. So here you can see delivered as a service. All right, these are you are managing. Okay, you are managing. These are delivered as a service. Infrastructure as a service. That's why IaaS means infrastructure as a service. So here you can see, right, it's delivered as a service. Your IaaS, infrastructure area, it is delivered as a service. That's why it's called IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Till here, you're getting as a service. Just watch this diagram carefully, 2 minutes. This is very, very important. If you know this basics, you can easily relate many services what we are going to learn. So here, the infrastructure, what all this infrastructure, networking, storage, service, all this hardware part, plus virtualization, everything delivered as a service. You can only focus on these areas. So here you can install either Python, Java, or any Apache or anything you can install up to you. Like you can have a database, middleware, anything you can have. What you're doing here, it's totally up to you. Okay, here it's delivered as a service. That is IaaS. Any questions? If you know this, you need to visualize this in your mind always, because this is those are totally new to it. Focus this is very well, this area, because this explain many things in cloud. Then when it comes to PaaS, platform as a service, from networking to runtime, it is delivered as a service, and you are managing only very few areas, which means if we take the same example of Python, hosting a Python application, in IaaS, we need to install Python, just to log into the operating system, install Python, then deploy your code. That's what you have to do. Here, you can just open a Python a PaaS application. You can go to that application, select Python, like which platform you are going to build. You can just select Python, deploy your code. You don't need to log into the operating system, or you don't need to install Python, or you don't have to do any configuration, variable settings, or whatever. You don't have to do anything. Just open the application and host your Python, deploy your code, your application is ready. So here management is very less, and everything will be delivered as a service. Much more easy. This is much more direct, and your management is pretty more less. Okay, compared to IaaS, it's your management part is very less. Is that clear? Anyway, we are going to learn this as we are IaaS, PaaS and all. you will get a better idea. But just imagine what it is. Just to understand what it is delivered as a service. What all the areas are delivered as a service. SaaS, everything will be delivered as a service here. We can't take the Python application as an example here. So everything is delivered as a service, which means you're directly purchasing a software like Office 365. If you use Office 365 or Google G Suite and all, that is a SaaS application, software as a service. You're getting the total software as a service. You're not managing anything. You are directly using it. Service models. Okay, some of the examples. We will get more examples when we are really during the different part of the training. Any questions about this service models? You're free to ask. Okay, Shankar, Jodi, you all, whatever is in mind, you can ask. Okay, if you are not clear or if you don't know one.
Yeah, yes, Anish.
Hey guys, it is always better to ask because I know we all don't know so many things out of here. So it's always better to ask so that it can clear off everyone's mind. It's not only specific to you or specific to someone, right? But we can always ask. There's no harm in asking. Shying away will give us no knowledge. So please do not hesitate.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So when it comes to learning, there is no wrong questions. So you can ask anything in mind, all of you. So I think service model is clear. Now let's focus on, we will spend 10 more minutes today.
So if the time is constrained, then can we have your deck? What exactly the Arif asking in beginning? So you have your contents and how exactly you, I mean, if you bring that, the contents, right? In the 10 minute, you can walk through. If you go to
Yeah,
another
yeah, we will do that.
Yeah.
Increased. Okay. So certifications, you can, this is my profile basically. So I do have 2 GCP certification, and in that also the professional cloud architect I have done twice. So I have renewed after 2 years. Any certification, the total duration is 2 years. So after that it get expired. It's optional to you to whether you are you need to renew or not. I didn't renew all these certifications. Okay, this one, and all I didn't renew. But only this professional architect I renewed because I am doing training, right? So that I need to be updated always. So that way I renewed it. This is again GCP certification. This was introduced last year. It's not important for you to go for it. It's something for those who are doing management, sales, and all. For them, this new certification, it got very less technical. I mean, technical only, but the complexity is less. Those who are managers, those who are into technical sales and all, for them, it is introduced. So I just wanted to see what is this certification. So I appeared for the exam and it was good. So these are the certifications. So you can focus on associate cloud engineer or professional cloud architect, this certification. So this course content is for those certifications. So you can see first what we did is this one. All right, why cloud? Don't go for this, go with this timing basically, because timing I approximately mentioned in the initial days. Those are, it depends on. Okay, this will be our first in the next session we will be doing these two. Okay, some basics, and anyway we don't have time today. I think we're good for today. We will have some introduction on GCP. Okay, console overview, all these things we will be doing. All these blue color ones are lab. Okay, all these blue fonts are lab. And
yeah, so in the first, okay, so you have IAM and the first one chapter, right?
yeah, first one will be
How
IAM.
many-
Friday we will discuss this. Yeah.
Okay, so as an exams point of view, how much percentage do we think in these two chapters also, so we can have some idea, so we can put more, I mean, to stress where we have a more questions and all.
I didn't get the question. I didn't
My
get the
question is,
question.
like, IAM is a very important guy. Everybody knows in all this everywhere, right?
Mm.
So how much percentage, I mean, to how many questions we can expect in the exam, kind of?
See, yeah, okay. Exam, exam like that level of percentage wise, nobody can say. Okay, exam is always will be floating. Like this time there will be some questions from this areas more, and later it will be reduced. So definitely you will get question from exam. Maybe from IAM, maybe some 3 to 4 questions maximum you will get. Okay, so minimum some 2 questions you will get, maximum some 4 questions. I can't really say because in exam is the cloud exams or something always will be keep out, it will be changing that. So IAM is security, so definitely you will have fairly good idea about IAM and all the important areas of IAM. So I can't really say from here this much percentage of question will come. There are major areas, compute, storage, and networking. These 3 areas, then database and Kubernetes. These are the 5 areas we are discussing. Not the services. Under every area, there are multiple services we are discussing. But for an architect exam, you need to focus that areas, and the perspective is different. That's all I can say. I can't really say the percentages.
Okay.
So IAM. Okay, this is security. So first we are going to discuss, and we will do some lab as well along with that. Compute engine, 6 hours, maybe we will some 4 to 5 hours only required for this 2 session, or what, three session. It depends on how fast we are going, or how soon we are understanding. Anyway, I won't be in a hurry to finish the topics within the time or something. We will understand, we will discuss, and go slow. That's how we will deal. So here it's a very important area, compute engine. 6 hours. So we will be doing a lot under compute engine. You can see what all we are doing here. We can look into this later. Then cloud storage. Storage, not 4 hours, 2 to 3 hours will be enough. So here, all this we will be doing it. File store. A few things I changed it. Okay, these areas. Some I have changed. I'll share I'll share the updated one. I have added few and I have reduced a few and all. So some some less percentage, very few things, not the important areas. Load balancing and auto scaling. This is another important area. PPC, here we will be spending good amount of time. Compute, this networking, storage is something small topics. So many small topics are the storage and databases. So in a single topic, the compute and VPC, these are the 2 topics which take a lot of time. Okay, on single topic, we'll be discussing a lot. SQL, then some other DB services, compute services, again, continuation of compute. Here, PaaS service, we just discussed about PaaS, right? We will be discussing about platform as service here. Then management tools like, here at almost some 80% is our management tools. There are some tools which helps you to monitor logs, creating the logs, metrics, auditing, all these things for security and management. There are some tools we will be discussing. Then Kubernetes, I mentioned about it. It's a very important topic. Maybe more than 4 hours it will go, because it's a very one of the very strong topic. A lot of everything will be new in it. Unlike the traditional concept, each and everything will be new. Anyone is working in Kubernetes here already?
Yes.
Who? Sharon. Okay.
Yeah.
A
So
cloud Kubernetes, or in Google Cloud or some other platform?
not in the Google, in the AWS side of this AKS.
All right. So it's something new, it's something very strong and very, yeah.
I have one question. What exactly you're gonna cover in that? So, like as a Google also has the GKS as a service,
Right.
right?
So
So I'll be using
before I go to
let,
GKE,
let,
yeah,
let me clarify my question, please. So even though we know there is a service, so we don't need to build anything, just initiate the, to this cluster and we can start deploying our containers, right? Or the pods, whatever you can say it. But the question is that are we building the Kubernetes clusters from the scratch, or we will learn the service and we can, to deploying, doing all together, whatever the
yeah,
component there
you
is.
can see here. First, we will be understanding, before we learn Kubernetes, we'll be understanding very basics, like what is microservice, container, because many will be new to Kubernetes. Okay. Those who don't know what is, there will be many in every batch, those who never heard about Kubernetes. So we will be discussing, I'll be giving a very basic understanding in one session, one whole session, like what is microservice, container, Docker, some task about that as well. After that, I'll be explaining what is Kubernetes in general, what is Kubernetes. Then we will learn about GKE, how the Kubernetes is in Google Cloud. Okay, Kubernetes is something, it's an open source. Everywhere you will find, not only in cloud, outside of cloud also, in normal environment also you can host a Kubernetes. So we will discuss the in Google Cloud, how the Kubernetes is. So in that, we will be creating a cluster. We will run host some applications there. Then we will understand more, like what is pod, service, controllers, deployment file, then some more. We will be hosting an application as well. All right. That's what we do in Kubernetes. There are some slight changes here anyway. This is the general things we will do in Kubernetes. This is the major lab in Kubernetes, creating a 3-layer application.
So are we covering, so do we have any scope to cover this, like as a, how the security works when you deploy the application, to the ingress controller, or when you deploy your service and
We will be discussing about services, the different services, load balancer service, cluster IP service, in that perspective, not
not
in
not
too detail.
not the, not the security, how to maintain the security inside this cluster, right?
No.
Okay.
Okay. After the training, after the entire training, there will be a wrap-up session. I'll be giving a project which we are doing a mini project almost in the middle of the training along with the VPC. So that is something almost like creating a environment in cloud. Okay, the complete from end to end. In the middle, we'll be doing a project, and I'll be giving a project at the end of the training project. I'll be explaining how to do. So that will really help when you're going for an interview, and when you go for an exam also, that will really help. Okay. And I'll be explaining some basics, like how you can appear for the interview, how to add the things in resume and all these things, how you can what you can express yourself in interview, all these things I'll be giving a explanation here. Then we will be solving the practice questions of associate cloud engineer and professional cloud architect. And also I'll be guiding how to proceed for the exam. This is the wrap-up session. All right.
One is, I think you explained it good. So I do have on top of one question. Like you explain everything, we are going with your flow, the way you suggested. Take an example, maybe the compute service, or maybe the Kubernetes, maybe the storage. You give the lesson and you give the exercise, and we are doing that, right? And even though you have given the theoretical concept and given the, we did the, to uh, did the levels for your sections, right? But there are certain areas where I'm just digging into that, where you have not covered, or the part not is not, to the part of your training program, right? But still I stuck somewhere else. So how we can deal that part? Did, first of all, did you understand my question?
Yes, I got your question. We will deal with that. Okay, so if we can if you're stuck somewhere, so if it is within our scope of training, we can discuss in the training time itself, or post training we can extend some time, and I'll see how it looks like, and we can proceed based on that as well. Okay.
So theoretical question, okay, you can answer very quickly, but there could be some time consuming task. Like take an example. I'm just building one of this business model where I have some, like as one of the BPC, I have another BPC, and communicating via to two of the BPCs, and we have some other appliances, and I wanted to communication, and I'm stuck somewhere else. Kind of those questions.
That's what. So if it is something which is explainable within the training time, that if it is a quick explanation, I can do that. Otherwise, post training, I can extend some time, and depends on my timing. I can extend some 10-15 minutes to address those things. Okay, maybe like I won't ask to wait everyone in the call. Maybe only you and me can connect, or those who are all ready to connect, they can stay in the call, and I'll be explaining that. Okay, that way we can proceed.
Okay.
All right. So, okay, let's finish this. So this is the free trial. This is an account, Google Cloud account. If you create an account, this is how it looks like after logging. It will take you to the home page, something like this. So here, how to create the free trial account. Let me explain. So I'll just share a video for that. Maybe like you will also get the videos how to create the free trial account. So GCP, you can try for, you can search for GCP free trial account, all same, free tier account. I'll share a video to Neelima, like she'll share it with you, that video. So here you can see, go to console, here it is when I search for free tier account. So here $300 you will get credit in your account. Google provide for learning. You can use that $300 while learning. When you create any service, it will deduct from this total amount. All right, from your account, it will deduct from the total amount, this virtual money. So, and the expiry, you can use for 3 months, that's the expiry time. So just if you are focusing for certification, just put a target maximum 3 months, because we need 1.5 months for training, and rest you will you need to prepare, so that at that point of time also you can use the free trial account. So you can set some target 3 months if you are going for certification, so it will be good. So you need to fill some details, your email ID, your what is the use, like you are using for personal or professional purpose, all these things you need to fill, some 2 pages only, not too many options, your basic details only, not much. After filling that, it will be direct, you need to add your credit card details there. From your credit card, it will reduce 1 rupee, and it will credit it back also, that is for verification. So always there should be an active credit card which should be attached with your account. All right. So that is the process of creating the free tier account. For step-by-step guidance, I'll send a video later. All right, but it's not a very big deal. But while creating account, you may face some issues. So many face some issues, like if you already tried earlier, you already created a free tier account, again you are creating and all, there will be some issues. We will deal that later. If you're facing some issue, you can show in the next session. So try to create this account. That is the important task before you appear for the next session, because you should have an account by next session. All right. Any questions?
Yeah, if you expire the previous account, you can use it, create another Google account and just create another free account, right?
Yeah, but it's not that easy. You need to use all the credentials different.
Huh?
Yeah, sometimes they will, sometimes
you have a ABC, you have ABC account, you can get DC account, and you have a different credential at that time, right? So what's a big deal?
no, it's a big deal, because it will check whether which laptop, which device you are connecting, which network you are connecting. Based on all these also, they are preventing the number of accounts from the same user. So it's not that easy to create multiple accounts.
Is that okay? I didn't knew that.
Yeah,
Okay.
because those who see, just imagine, see how what are the ways they can identify you, your laptop, right? If you're using the same laptop to create next account, using your laptop Mac ID, they don't allow from the same device multiple account. Maybe your public IP address, your router IP address, possibly.
But this could not be the right use case, right? I have 2, 3 brothers or maybe siblings or wife and all. They can have their own account, even though you use the same
They can use
laptop.
that way. You can use it different. But
Correct. Yeah.
these days it is difficult to create multiple account. Many are facing issues. So if you are facing any issue, we will see in the next session. Okay. So create the account, then see you in the next session if there is no question.